get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Start my day. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, drink some.
Planting seeds is what really gets you hooked on gardening. Because about a week to 2 weeks after you plant them, these little sprouts start coming out of the ground, and you have this very protective instinct for them. So you feel like you would do anything to protect them. So it's a very exciting time. By the way, I decided to come sit out here, and I could hear birds when I first opened the door. Oh, it's gonna create such a peaceful atmosphere. But as soon as I got out here, some guy starts yelling in the alley, and then someone starts banging something next door. So bear with me in my peaceful backyard. If only we could drown out the sound, you would forget completely that you were in the middle of the city. Oh, and what do we have here? What did you bring? Just don't put it in the pool. Hey, you listening to me? Don't put it in the pool. Only because it's right by the edge. Rooney, I know this is your favorite game. Oh, gosh. And then she's just gonna do it again. Before you plant seeds, there's a lot of things that you have to do, which you can find detailed in my most recent videos. There's a couple of videos about stocking supplies in your garden that you'll need once your seeds start growing. So those are the organic pest control and how to protect your garden from pests like birds, rats, and squirrels. That was about a month ago. And then we did a segment about 3 weeks on soil health. This is extremely important. You want to make sure to amend your beds with like good compost and other amendments. Be sure to watch that video. If you don't watch any other ones, that's the one to watch. And then I started some seedlings indoors that I transplanted up there, but I also did a segment last week on planning where you're going to plant your seeds in your garden. That's also super important. And if you've watched all of those, or if you're already an expert in those topics, then you're ready. You're ready to plant your seeds. Why don't we just head up to my roof garden where I have prepped the beds and gotten everything ready to go, and we'll read our seed packets and basically follow the instructions, because that's what you do to plant seeds. It's very easy. You read the instructions and you follow them. You know, I shouldn't say that's very easy, because for some people following instructions is very hard. But I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. Let's go. I've just installed my trellises. It was a little tricky getting them in with the low ceiling. I had to dig down into the bed a little bit to make room for them. And also because of this bulkhead really right here, I wasn't able to angle them like I wanted to, but I compromised and found this situation, which I really like. And I've got my seeds all ready to be planted. My 2 cucumbers, my 2 melons. And all I need to do now is find a place for my okra, because it was gonna be in the end over here. And because of the beams and also this light, which I'm kind of MacGyvered in here, I'm kind of stuck with this configuration. I might be able to get a couple okra in here, so that might be it for this year, but pretty decent. All right, I'm direct planting these. It's already April 10th or something. So I'm going to just plant these right here. Seed depth 1/2 inch, plant spacing 18 to 36 inches apart. So technically I can only kind of put 2. I'm going to put 2 in each hole. So I'm going to do a total of 4. That way, if one of them doesn't germinate, I have a backup. Tiny little hole, 2 seeds, cover it up. Tiny little hole, 2 seeds, cover it up. And you'll notice I already have my trellis in place. This would have been very disruptive to the seedlings trying to get this in once they were already growing. Not to mention that once they're already growing and they start flopping over, if you then try to install this trellis, you can never organize it properly. So definitely always put these things in before you plant. Don't forget to label them and water them. Now I'm going to plant my corn. This is the planter that I've chosen for my corn. So I'm gonna have a look at the packet. It says plant 1 to 2 inches deep, 12 inches apart. Sounds perfect. This looks like it's about 3 by 3. I am going to put 9 of them in here. I'm just gonna go a little bit less than 1 foot, but it will be just fine for this small garden. Again, when I'm direct sowing any seed, I plant 2 in each hole, just in case one doesn't sprout, and then hopefully they both do, and then I have to pull one out. Now I am going to come up here every single day and check on the water situation with these seeds. Unlike established plants that are more mature, seeds really need consistent moisture more than anything, and even my little drip system that I have here doesn't provide enough coverage. So I really need to come up here every single morning and just make sure the surface of the soil is nice and damp, because that's where they are. They're within like the top inch of the soil. So get ready to baby those babies. You're gonna be needed every day for the next couple weeks. And here is the bed for my kale seeds. There were no instructions. I had to look it up. So I found that you plant them 1/2 to 1/4 inch deep. After a couple of weeks, you space them out to 8 to 12 inches apart. So maybe I'll just plant them 8 to 12 inches apart to begin with, and I'll do my double seed situation and I will thin them from there. So that's what I'm gonna do in this one. Once you've decided how far apart, or you figured out how far apart they need to go and how deep they need to go, you then make the indentations exactly where you want them. Make all of the indentations. So there they are, 8 to 12 inches apart and about 1/2 inch deep. And then, like I said, see these tiny kale seeds? They're so tiny. I'm gonna put like 2 or 3 in each. And when these start to sprout, I'm going to pick 1 per hole that looks the strongest, and I'm gonna thin the other one out. They're all full. I'm gonna cover them all up. and I'm going to water them. Bet you thought I forgot, didn't you? I have mapped out this bed for 4 lettuces, bam, and 2 carrots, and bam, and radishes. What are these? You may ask. These are celery volunteers that I found in this bed from a previous celery planting, and I thought maybe I'll try to save them because I love celery. So I'm gonna take them out for right now, and we'll see where we can try to fit these guys in. De 18 jours radish. Does anyone know what that means? Of 18 days. So that's probably how long it takes these radishes to grow. I just had a look at my okra and realized that it says soak seeds for 24 hours. So I'm going to soak those, and then tomorrow I will plant them. I'm going to soak 8. It's a nice round number, and I can plant a few more in pots just in case the ones in the ground don't germinate. Here are my little okra seeds that I've been soaking for 24 hours. I'm just going to dump the water out carefully, and we're gonna go plant these. I should plant these 1/2 to 1 inch deep and 18 inches apart. I think I can technically fit about 4 of these if I put like one back here, one back here, one here, and one here. Yes, it's a little tight, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna plant 4 seeds like that in that spacing. And then I'm also going to plant the remaining 4 in this right here, which is something I do a lot with seeds that I'm direct sowing. I'll plant them in my beds, and then I'll actually plant a few more in these little cells that I have left over from when I buy plants at the nursery. I always keep these. These are super handy. So the reason for that is because if any of these don't sprout for some reason, and these do, I can transplant these in there, and I don't waste the space or the time, waiting for something else to grow completely from seed after that one has failed. I love okra. It's kind of a random one. Not a lot of people love it unless you're from like the south of the US or Asia. In Asia, it's actually quite popular. My fiance is from Singapore, so we do eat okra here. We love it sauteed, in stir fries and that sort of thing. It's really quite delicious. So there we go. That was it. That's all that I need to do for that. So let me grab my hose and water that up, and also label it. Label. If there's anything you've learned from me today, I hope it's just how to follow instructions, because that's really all it comes down to when you're planting seeds. These little packets right here contain all the information that you need in order to plant the seeds properly. As long as you follow this, you're golden. So make sure whenever you're doing gardening, whether it's seeds, whether it's compost, fertilizer, especially fertilizer, read the instructions and follow them. More is not better. And that's pretty much all it comes down to when planting seeds. So as you know, everything in here has been planted. I hope that you are going into your own gardens and planting your own seeds. And I will be checking back in with you in a week and 2 weeks and show you the growth that I have in my garden. And I hope that you have the same growth in yours. So get out there, plant those seeds, and let me know how it goes. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye. It's not in the pool. This is great news.